Key characteristics of effective fundraising. Every form of fundraising has 7 key characteristics, whether it is fundraising with individuals or companies or other sources like governments or foundations. The first one is that fundraising is from people to people or person to person. This is something to keep in mind when you, for instance, are not in direct contact with the person or organization that you are asking for funds. Sometimes fundraising is all based on written contact, and then we may lose sight of the fact that it is a people-to-people business that we are in. One needs to establish relationships with people who believe in what you are going to do and who believe you can deliver on it. The second characteristic is that in order to become successful in fundraising as an organization, one needs to be committed and invest in it. It is not that a one-off fundraising activity cannot be successful, but when you build on it year after year, you will see that you learn as you go along, and that by building your public image, people will get to know you, and that with time, it will become easier. Investing in fundraising in the long run really pays off. The third characteristic is that in order to tap into the money one wants to raise, one really needs to take a couple of steps first. You need to open people's hearts and convince their minds. Only if you win their trust, the money will follow. As people want to be involved in creating a better world, a better and stronger community, it is very important to touch people on an emotional level, apart from convincing them rationally. It is a big mistake to think that people will simply give because they have the time or the money. The fourth element is that personal contact always has the strongest impact. So when one is able to meet with potential donors face to face, that is the strongest contact one can establish. It is way stronger than calling people on the phone, writing them an email, or getting in touch with them by other means of dialogue. So use possibilities for face-to-face contacts if they exist. The fifth key characteristic of effective fundraising is that it is all about building relationships with donors. Very often, much emphasis is put on finding new donors and less attention is given to keeping and upgrading existing donors. Upgrading means that donor starts giving a higher donation, gives the same periodic amount but more frequently, and/or commits himself for a longer period. Yet, finding new donors requires much more effort and higher costs than keeping and upgrading existing donors. Make sure to keep donors informed and involved by connecting with them on a regular basis about the progress and the impact of your work. Treat donors as friends and turn them into long-time supporters of your organization. The sixth key characteristic of effective fundraising is that you have to ask. This sounds very obvious, but it is often not done in the right way. It is about asking the right person at the right time for the right kind and amount of support. What is it that you want from a potential donor? How do you ensure that you ask for the right amount? Not too much, not too little. If you don't ask people, they simply can't support you, so dare to ask. And last but not least, effective fundraising is teamwork. You cannot do this alone. Make sure there is a team in your organization that works together with clear tasks and responsibilities. Involving volunteers can also be very helpful in resource mobilization. And don't forget to ask the board to provide contacts and introductions to potential donors.